A text says, "You're on my mind." A bouquet from 1-800-Flowers says, "You're my everything." Heartfelt moments belong in the real world, not just your phone. For 50 years, 1-800-Flowers has helped millions of people make memories that'll last a lifetime with gifts they'll cherish forever. Their expertly curated arrangements and gift baskets ship nationwide with a 100% satisfaction guarantee. Don't wait for the next big moment. Make it when you visit 1-800-Flowers.com/podcast. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/podcast.
Hello and welcome to 360 Gamercast episode 770 for Tuesday the 24th of March 2026. I'm your host Mark Webb, gamertag Pearson ID, Steam ID, Webby 360G, and joining me on this very fine evening is...
Retro Nick is back. Nick Fights.
And Sensei Switch. I made it back alive. I wish I felt good about it.
What, you made it back alive from the Crimson Desert or from the hospital again?
It's just one of the sayings that people say loads in that game when you speak to them.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's not an arrow to the knee, but we'll go with it.
Yeah, nothing's going to be as popular as that. Nick, we haven't seen you for a couple of weeks, man.
I know, I've been busy making babies and working.
Having a life. And...
Not having a life. Not at the same time, obviously, but, you know.
Having a life, getting engaged, you know, all these other, all these things.
Yeah, it's just stuff to do. Plus, like, because I work in a lot of 12-hour shifts, I didn't really have much time to play games, so I can't come on and say I've not played nothing. So, you know. But then you've had Peebs back, so he can pick up the slack.
Yeah.
When he's not drunk.
Well, he's got his man shed now, hasn't he? So he's going to be... Well, his man shed guard, his pub, he's made into like a little bar shed. So he's going to be constantly drunk on a weekend now, isn't he?
But my man cave's indoors, so.
Yeah, well, he's got a pub shed. Looks quite nice, actually. So that's cool. So I'm waiting for my invite. I'll be round there. There we go. Right, anyway.
Have you got time to go around there when you play like 200 hours of video games a week and work full time and be a father, husband, and do everything else?
Well, funnily enough, I was actually about 20 minutes from Peebs' house today. So we don't actually live that far from each other, really. We're under an hour apart. So, you know, it's easy peasy, really. But no, I get a lot of gaming time in Nick because, you know, in an evening, I get the kid. Well, my missus gets the kid to bed. Really, I just say good night and say see you later, and then I'm straight on the video games till God midnight. That's how I get my gaming in. Weekends, I don't seem to game as much because I'm busy doing family stuff. So it's really weekday evenings. But last night as well, watched a film with the missus, and then and then that finished at 10, and I was like, Crimson Desert time. And I was on that too.
You couldn't think of anything else to do?
No.
What movie was it, at least?
Good luck, have fun, don't die.
Oh, that sounds...
It was actually quite good. It was pretty good, actually. Quite entertaining.
Yeah, I've heard it's quite weird and funky.
Yeah, but AI taking over and people addicted to their phones. Quite a good take on modern society, to be fair.
And Nvidia, which we'll probably get into later.
Yes, I've got quite a lot of news and stuff. Anyway, it's been a big week for game releases. The one game that I've personally been looking forward to for a good couple of years now. I've kept a very strong eye on it. Crimson Desert finally released, and Well, it was a bit weird. So it came out Thursday, but didn't unlock until 10 p.m. Thursday, which is really annoying. Managed to get a couple
That's a weird thing.
Yeah.
I thought the whole point of getting it digital is so it unlocks midnight, like the day it comes out, because I've known a lot of people used to do that, and now it's all weird times. I've known 4 o'clock in the afternoon, but I've never known 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah,
that was a warning sign of how things were going to unfold. I think. We don't know how to do game releases. We don't know how to put the whole game on the fucking disc. We gate people from actually accessing what they've paid money for, and then we put the actual servers up so everyone can download the patch that allows them to actually play the game they've paid for at the entire same time. It's just, I couldn't, I was shaking my head then. So I didn't even play it until sort of Friday, to be honest. I sort of downloaded the thing on like Thursday and just thought, I want to go to bed. I don't want to sit and start doing an intro for a game because they usually go on for a little while.
Yeah, very true.
Yeah, what the developers did and stuff like that, and not releasing the console footage and only letting people review it on PCs. It's just, I know most of them do it, but like, you know, reviews like the day before or the day of, it's just like, have you got faith in your game or not?
Well, it was weird because they gave Digital Foundry the PS5 Pro version, but they actually gave them a PS5 Pro console with the game already on it, so they couldn't play it on any other system.
I'm wondering if they actually did that
modded it
in general because of the access as well.
Yeah.
So it's like you almost had to have some sort of special version of it to have access, because they artificially gated you from your game.
Yeah, and there was a few
which
things,
means that if you...
Sorry, mate.
No, it's all right. I was about to say, so it means if you bought a physical copy for it, so you can play it whenever you wanted, like, and for posterity, once the servers go down and you're unable to download that update, you've got a fucking toaster, just because the devs were stupid and they couldn't be bothered to put the whole game on the disc, which it could easily fit because the game's only 85 gig anyway.
Yeah, I was saying they also did. I remember what I watched the IGN review, and they were saying the code they had, they like played it for about 10 something hours, and they said, "Oh, we've got to send you an update," and it completely wiped the save, so we had to start all again. And I'm like, "Oh, come on." That would, like, if I was reviewing a game and they did an update and deleted my save, I would hate the fucking game. So, and I think they gave I wouldn't say a low score.
Well, they only gave it a 6.
It's 6. They gave it a 6.
They gave it a lower score. They gave it a lower score than fucking Veilguard and Concord and Highguard. They're fucking idiots. Anyone who listens to IGN is a fucking retard. I'm saying it now. What the fuck is happening?
I just said that's the one I watched because it's good to get a person who don't like those games, if you know what I mean. But I'm just saying it's a bit of a, what's the word, troubled, like, pre-launch, getting review codes out and stuff like that, which, you know, I think that they've left it so late with, like, day one patches and stuff. They weren't, because normally the game, when it goes gold, is between 5 and 3 weeks before release, and then they send it out and put it on the discs. And is it even on the? Is there even the full game on the disc?
No, they purposely left the part of it off it, so you needed to go on the servers at 10 p.m. to download it to play it. So you could boot the game up, but it just said, please come back on the 19th at 10 o'clock at night.
See, I didn't have this issue because I got it on PC, so you know it was just locked until the time. I personally, I don't understand the negativity towards the game that I've seen online. I think a lot of it is people just doing it for clout, or people that are just non-gamers or very used to, like, the PlayStation games where there's yellow paint everywhere and they used to being funneled through a story, because this very much reminds me...
people who like decent control schemes for their fucking games.
Well, actually, just thing.
All right, you two get into it then. I'll just grab a cup of tea and put my feet up. So I haven't played it. So where you go?
Well, I mean, I understand some of the complaints about the control scheme because you can't actually change the buttons. However, the control scheme is very similar to like a Grand Theft Auto or Red Dead Redemption in some ways, where you got to tap A to run faster or X if you're on a PlayStation
no
controller.
issues with that aspect. No, there's certain issues. Like I was going to say, I like the game. I do like the game, and I'm going to persevere with the game. It has a lot of things in gaming that I like. There's just a lot of things in here that I think were designed by a retarded gibbon who was kept in a prison and forced to work on the control scheme for this game, because it is the worst control scheme in any game I have ever fucking played. It's horrendous. Like, you walk up to people and you push square or X, I imagine, on Xbox or whatever, to talk to them. Fine, yeah, I get that. Why is it when I want to talk to a shopkeeper or an actual NPC do I have to hold down LB, move my cursor over them, and then press square? Why can't I just fucking press square like a normal person, like I do to talk to everyone else in the game?
Dude, it's all about the immersion. I don't.
That's not immersive. It's fucking shit.
I don't understand the issue. It's literally, I've had no problem with it at all.
You're playing on PC. Webby, are you playing on PC with keyboard and mouse or a controller?
Xbox controller.
Yeah.
I imagine it's got a similar setup.
I think a lot of games, it seems like they were assuming like you'd do that with a keyboard and mouse, and they haven't optimised it properly for controls. Yeah, and they're sort of a hybrid of both.
Well, no, I've heard some people saying the controller is actually the preferred way they like to play the game, because it's even more confusing with the keyboard because you can't remap a lot of the buttons on it or something.
Oh, I tried.
And there's so much weird stuff where the game wants you to push and hold multiple buttons together to do simple actions that other games would just ask you to push one button for. It's like to bring up your menu to literally change any of your weapons or your arrows or any of that. You've got to hold the left D-pad, which brings up another menu. And while you're holding that, you have to use the analog stick to highlight what you want and then tab through the options in each of the sections of LB and RB, which will then bring up the thing you want, which you then have to hold L1 and then move over the thing with the fucking cursor again and push RB or whatever it is to actually do a delayed hit on it. It's cack-handed, mate. It's like the game was designed by someone with, two left hands.
I don't know. I don't understand the problem.
So many other games have better systems for control schemes. It's horrific.
So for me, since the game came out Thursday night, I've played it for 16 hours. And
I don't know how long I've put in, actually.
And when I first played it, I was a bit like
11.
Yeah, so it's nearly similar. So when I started playing it, I was a bit like X. This is Xbox controller. X to jump, and I just thought that was a bit weird. And then I thought using R1, R2, L1 for the combat was a bit odd. Obviously, very Dark Souls with just the control scheme.
Don't get me wrong, having L1 to block, perfect. That's good. That's always mapped, and it's always a good button to have. But then you've got the R1 and an R2 or whatever for your light and heavy attacks and stuff. Again, not too much of an issue if the combat was a bit more responsive.
See, with just talking about the control scheme, I know people are complaining about it because obviously every game has the same, A to jump and B to do it, the kind of the same. Whereas obviously being a Korean developer, they've just gone fuck the Western audience. We'll just do what the fuck we want.
They've made an MMO with better controls than this. This is what fucking boggles my mind. They actually have an MMO which has storage. It has storage.
Mate, I've got 120 odd slots available. I don't see the problem.
I've got 100 and something slots. Why in your room do you have a fucking storage box that you can't put anything in?
Oh,
Oh,
that was bad. That would ruin me.
It's fucking infuriating. And that storage has a ton of slots, and you're like, sweet, I'm full up. Let me offload some of the stuff into that. And then it's like everything you look at, it's like, can't go in storage. Everything can't go in the storage. I'm like, why is it even there then?
well,
Why
apparently,
have a storage
well, that's for
if you
stuff
can't put
that you
anything in
miss,
it?
isn't it? Like, so if you miss things in like quests, like it automatically goes in there.
Yeah, so you can pick it up, but you can't put anything in.
Apparently, like,
Which
so I
means,
was
guess what? You're
reading.
going to be filling my storage with shit because I don't have room to pick it up.
Well,
Because my storage is full and I'm not running all the way back to town every time I pick up a couple of items to sell them off to run all the way back to where I was on the map.
right, okay. Well, let me just say something about this, right? So, obviously, if you're going to upgrade or create things like you can make dinners and things like that, obviously, a lot of the stuff in your inventory you use for upgrading your weapons, upgrading your armor, making meals, etc. But also later on, when you get your camp, it's very much like Red Dead Redemption in the camp, where you can donate stuff to the camp to benefit it, be it money or items in your inventory. So I've pretty much unloaded most of my inventory just by giving it to the camp to give it more supplies and stuff. That's pretty much what I'm doing, to be honest. And I found that quite good. Obviously, you can sell stuff. So what I've done is I've sold a load of stuff, made money, gone to the bank, turned my money into gold bars, and now I'm investing my gold bars on the stock market in the game to try and make even more money. So there's all these deep systems within the game that you got to really tinker with and find out. The game doesn't do a very good job on telling you about any of this at all. You need to kind of either discover it or maybe look at like some videos on YouTube, like the top 10 things to do or something, just to try and figure some of the stuff out. But that's kind of the way I'm playing the game, is I'm just really taking my time to do stuff, trying really deeply investigating, but I've tried to now, but I'm at a point where, my camp is quite big now because I wanted to get to a good point in the camp, and unfortunately that's doing quite a bit of the main story stuff, which I've got on. I think I'm on like chapter 4 now, and I can now send men out to do tasks around the world, to bring in money as well, and you can like sell things like through them on the market in your chest in your camp as well. And then I know later on you can set up little trade routes and sell stuff even better. So that's kind of where I'm trying to get to at the minute. And I'm just absolutely loving it. But I know we were talking about the controls, so I'm trying not to deviate too much. What I was trying to say earlier about the controls is I know they're a little bit cack-handed. However, I'm not saying for everybody, but I'm one of those people, I find it quite easy to adapt to different control schemes.
Yeah, because obviously the guy put basically, like, I think one of the developers or something put out something like, oh, when you have new controls, it's just like riding a bike. Except the way they've made this game's controls, it's like riding a bike with no brakes and square wheels.
Well, you wait until you get some more combat abilities, because there's some like pressing Y and B together, like different combos.
Yeah, I've got the triangle and circle one and stuff like that, and that's quite enough. But yeah, it's another weird example of like things that wouldn't, how they actually ever got into the game in the first place. So near the start of the game, you go to the first town after obviously the bits at the start, because again, like, I'm not surprised the storyline in this is kind of like, I don't want to sound bad, but Koreans aren't particularly fucking great at telling stories in their games. I don't know why. It's generally a thing with a lot of their games. They kind of almost skip bits of the story that you're supposed to fill in, like, and don't explain stuff. So things just kind of go along and you kind of stick with it. But anyway, you go to the first town, and then it will basically be like, go to the notice board and pick up some notices. All of those notices will go into your inventory and take up a slot in your inventory. You can't sell them. You can't get rid of them. All you can do is throw them on the floor where they will permanently stay where you've chucked them.
See, I've got a little place where I just chuck everything and there's a little pile.
Why? Why can't you just destroy them?
I've just got like a little rubbish dump filled it up.
Little dump, yeah. But why? It didn't need to even get to that.
So so your quest scrolls go in your like item inventory.
Yeah, and take up slots, and you'll get given them by NPCs and your friends giving you a note, and you're like, "Oh, cheers, mate."
To be honest, all this stuff you've been saying, other people are saying, this seems the sort of stuff that should have been fixed 6 months ago with play testing. But because
or at least someone should have brought up in Q&A.
So nobody seems to do this anymore because they're either scared of the game leaking or they don't want to be told that their game's shit or something's wrong. But, I've done it for years, like mid-2000s, like some play testing of like crappy games. And if 50 people test your game and they all say the controls are crap, this isn't good and this needs good, they should say, yeah, that makes sense, we'll change that. Because games have still got to be fun, haven't they? And you don't want to spend all
this
the time
game
item management.
Is so fun. And Darren's making it sound like it's a piece of shit game. I am loving it. I'm absolutely loving this game, man. It's like a mixture between like a Skyrim, a Zelda, Breath of the Wild, a Skyrim. It's all these things like all melded into one, and I'm just like, I'm loving exploring. I'm loving like jumping out the sky and fucking getting my wings out and flying around.
Even Zelda was good, but then they had shit like the items kept breaking. It's always something in games, isn't there, that they have to do to piss people off.
Yeah. But no, like
I mean, it kind of annoys me more than anything. It's just like loads of little bugbears that just shouldn't exist.
Yeah, I know.
It reminds me,
you just kind of like, what is that? The world itself is so immersive and lovely when you're going around. Like, it really feels like it's properly populated. You've got people walking up and down the streets, having conversations, walking hand in hand. You've got beggars at the streets sort of like talking to you. You've got animals, you've got insects, birds, mammals just running around all over the place and stuff. Like, when you're actually about, it feels great. The exploration in the world is great. It's just all the little niggles just slightly pile up a bit and just start annoying you, where you just think, how is this here? Like, I get that they're probably going to patch a lot of these things out.
Yeah, so they've already said they're
to that point in the first place where you're like, like you said, why didn't anyone bring this up in playtesting? Like, hang on, mate, this menu's a bit shit. So mate, by the way, every time you bring the map up in town, it hard crashes your console to the dashboard, which is an issue on the PS5.
Oh, is it? Right, okay.
Yeah, if you accidentally tab across to your map and move around on your map, you'll know, hang on, why can't it's hard crashed again? And then you've got to wait a minute to load back into the game through the opening sort of like cinematic kind of bit.
I love that. I could just watch
it's great, but when you've been hard crashed and you haven't saved it for a while and you're seeing that, you're not like, this is great. You want to kill us or something. Yeah.
So they have already said on their Twitter feed that they're going to be releasing a patch so you can customize your controls, and they're going to be doing some more patches to try and fix some of the other complaints of the game. The thing with the controls is they are backwards. Just going back to, because the one thing that did catch me out very early, and I put that in our WhatsApp group, was like, because the controls are all backwards. So like on the save menu, you can press Y to save and A to load, and I'm like, so early on,
load it, just
so I went to save my game, but I pressed A, and then it loaded the save. I was trying to override. I was like, no. But luckily, I was like, fuck. But luckily, the autosaves are pretty good. And literally, it had all autosave about 2 minutes before then. So I was like, oh, thank fuck for that. But Yeah, but on PC, the modding community has come to the rescue already. There is a mod that allows you to customize your controls already as well, which is very handy. But I think that's the only thing I can really say that for me is a little bit of a complaint is the controls, because for me, everything else in the game, I've not really got any complaints about. I think the map is fucking massive. So I've played 16 hours, and I'm like, there's this tiny little speck of the map that I've explored on this giant expanse, and I'm like, oh my fucking God. And it looks absolutely stunning. I've got it, obviously I'm playing on PC, OLED ultra wide, ray tracing's on, and it just looks fucking amazing, stunning, especially at night when the lights are on, people are walking around with their lanterns and the sky. I'm just like, wow.
Yeah, that's it. It's one of the blokes I know, he's got it on PS5, and he was basically like, oh, it doesn't actually look that great. And I was like, what? And he was like, no, the graphics aren't that fantastic. And I said, this must be an issue with low-end PCs and standard consoles, because on the Pro and obviously the high-end PCs, it looks awesome.
Yeah.
It looks really nice. And obviously, when it's pissing down with rain, you get the puddles that form, and then they stick around for a while afterwards. The ground gets all muddy.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've got the puddles, reflective puddles, and that in the streets, in the town, and that when you're walking through, and all bits like that. Like I say, exploring the world for me has been one of the most enjoyable things, because you literally I need some ore or something to upgrade my armor. So you go trotting off with your pickaxe or whatever to try and mine some ore and try and figure out where it is. And I've found some pretty cool, interesting ores that aren't even iron or other things, you know what I mean, that have sort of come up, and I'm like, oh, what's that? And it's almost a special material that isn't really normally found in this region, and it's oh, that's cool. There's little caves I've found as well, which have got dwellings in, and it basically come up with a thing of oh, so-and-so supposedly haunts this cave, and I was like, well, I won't go in there yet, because it was quite early game, but it was tucked away in a little sort of small area. I love the exploration and all that. I think that's really good, and obviously the more you upgrade your stamina, the better the exploration becomes, because you can obviously hang on and climb up stuff easier as well. One thing I think that will kind of be a deal breaker for some people is this is very much like an MMO in the mission structure early on. There's a lot of mundane fetch quests, cleaning some dude's chimney out. Basically learning all the different sort of missions and things before it gets going. But then the missions can go from sort of go over to that place and defeat a couple of bandits, to one that I got earlier, which is the mines. Have you done the mission in the mines?
It's like a 200 blokes there or something ridiculous.
I've been there an hour killing people, and they're still
going. Yes. I think you've not got to the boss yet then. The drill hand guy.
I imagine there is one there.
Yeah.
I'm guessing, because again, that's a lot of the things in this are references to stuff from Black Desert. So I'm guessing they're kind of crossed over. So you've got Shaka-2, I've seen turns up. Marnie's mentioned, who's to do with all the, in Black Desert, he's to do with all the lab stuff and the mechanic kind of stuff in the region. Sort of steampunky type of things. You've obviously got one of the characters is called Rulupi, who's basically, which is a town in Black Desert, which is basically all full of shy, and they're all dressed in the green outfits that she's wearing. They're kind of a small sort of small people. They're like the La Bells of Black Desert kind of thing. And you say, going through in the rain when all the stuff's blowing about everywhere, and the trees and all of that, the sound effects, and you're trying to collect all the different bits of indigenous, the life forms and stuff to study to increase your knowledge and stuff. Like I say, everything there's great. There's just issues with the controls at the moment. But then I think even by allowing people to change their buttons, I don't know whether that's going to actually help that much because of the way that the systems are in place. Because you're still going to end up doing that same bollocks, like moving a radial about and using buttons to switch in between and stuff. It would just be a different button.
Yeah, I think for me, I just want to swap the A and X buttons over, and that would be perfect for me. As I say, I don't have an issue with any of the other control. I don't have an issue with the control scheme at all. You know, I do want to say that when you read into the development of the game, it was originally meant to be an MMO.
It was actually meant to setting out to be a sequel to Black Desert.
It was meant to be a prequel, actually, from what I was reading. Yeah, prequel MMO to Black Desert, and then partway through the development cycle, it got changed to what we've got now. So that's quite interesting, and that's where you can see some of those MMO type systems within the game. With the way some of the early missions are structured. With obviously every MMO has chopping down trees, collecting wood and ore and stuff like that. So
I get it. It's the way of like slowly introducing your players into all the different mechanics the game has to offer.
Yeah.
But then there'll be people that aren't as patient as us that don't really play MMOs, and they'll be like, "What the hell am I doing?"
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I mean, we've both played a lot of MMOs and JRPGs and stuff anyway. So for me, it just felt kind of natural for a slow intro into the game. But what I was going to say, well, first of all, I just want to give a shout out to Daz Poz, Skinny Malinky, and Colin Blake. There is questions in the Twitch. Daz Poz wants to know, as a PC player, is it best to use a mouse and keyboard or controller? I'm using controller. I've not used a mouse and keyboard on it, so I don't know. And there was a question I saw about, Daz Poz asked what the story's like, and I wanted to touch on that, Darren. I think I'm further on than you on the main story stuff. And I've seen complaints online, there's not really much of a main story there, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm thinking, well, if you're complaining about the story on this, then you can't complain to me. But then you can't come to me and say, the story on Skyrim or Oblivion was fucking amazing, because the whole point of these big open worlds for me is I get lost in the world and I get distracted by all the other stuff. And that's exactly what I couldn't tell you what the story is on Skyrim. I don't know, because I just went around and explored the world and did all the other stuff. That's how I feel with this. However, it's not actually that hard to follow. Not giving away any spoilers, really. The beginning of the game, something happens. I'm not going to say what, but basically you and your grey mains all get split up around the world. And then you get to a point where you get a base, and then basically the story where I'm at the minute is I need to listen to the rumours of where some grey mains might be and go and investigate. And then if I find some, which I have done, they come back to the base, and you know, we're trying to build up our gang again, if that makes sense. So that's pretty much the crux of it, I think, at the moment. Not hard to follow, really, to be honest. But I found myself, it's really mad, because I found myself just exploring the world, just either on horseback or on foot. And then, so on the map, there'll be loads of, well, look, you'll see where the kind of the side missions are, but random ones will just pop up. Like, you'll be walking around and randomly someone will be like, oh, can you help me do this? Or you have to save someone, you know, like, I didn't even realise, like, very early on in the game, so I was doing some missions, and then I was like, oh, what's this place on the map? Literally just down from me, because, like, if I see on the map that there's a little village or something that looks like a town or something, I'll just go and wander into it and just have a look. So what I did with this, I was like, oh, what's that by the river? So I walked down there, and there was a bunch of people fishing, and then there was a bloke there I could talk to, and then he was like, oh, want to try fishing? And he gave me a fishing rod. And then I was like, oh, I can go fishing now and catch fish. I was like, it felt quite random to me that just happened, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's also kind of weird because obviously I learnt fishing from a completely different mission.
Oh, okay.
Where basically the woman in town wanted me to get some scales for like a saddle or something for like the
Okay.
holstery.
All
And
right.
I had to go down to the very starting area of kind of when you come back out of it to go fishing there for something, and then that taught me fishing there with that.
That's cool.
But it is kind of mad that you can be in combat with people, and then like that person will do like a few moves, and then it will just basically be like, you have just learned this technique. You know what I mean? Because like you've witnessed someone else doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. But and this is what I'm loving about the game, because I'm getting that very big Skyrim type vibe from exploring the world, but it's borrowed a lot of gameplay mechanics from other games. So obviously we've talked about Breath of the Wild with the climbing and other bits, which like for picking things up and moving them around, and later on you can actually stack things and build things. Very Breath of the Wild stuff.
Speaking of stacks,
yeah,
the amount of items in your inventory that stack aren't very much until it like starts a second pile.
Right, okay.
That's a bit shite as well.
Yeah. But you can get extra slots from so many different missions, as like in your inventory, you know.
I do get that, but while you're in the middle of a mission out somewhere and you're full up, and like everything is stacking, and the enemies are dropping loads of like fucking things worth a lot of money, or gold pouches or stuff like that, and you can't pick it up, you haven't got room. It's infuriating.
Yeah.
And then you're literally like, none of this would happen if I could chuck stuff into my storage chest.
Yeah.
Or at least have a bank or something somewhere in the game where I can store items that I don't necessarily need, like quest items or other bits and bobs, because everything like takes up space, even obviously the things you need to level up, like those little cubes that you basically get from either doing challenges, finding in the world, or and there's two types of cubes as well. There's ones that I picked up and I'm like, hang on, it says I've got a cube, why can't I use it? And it's like, oh, that cube's for refunding your skill points. And it's like, so they're going to take up space as well. Yeah. So you're not really going to use them particularly per se, but they are something else that will add into your inventory on top of everything else, when you think that you're probably carrying like your full set of armor. You've got a spear, a bow, a shovel, a fishing rod, a pickaxe, like a broom, like maybe a rake. You know what I mean? All these other things that have uses in the game, and they all take up slots.
It's very MMO style inventory, isn't it? Like Final Fantasy 14, my inventory in there is
like I say,
full.
Without the storage, like if they allowed you to actually store items or increase the amount of things that would actually stack, because again, this is similar to sort of things like Starfield and whatnot, where it's like almost everything has a reason for it being there. It's not just useless. It will have the use in like a recipe. I mean, recipes are great. Like whenever I find recipes, they're awesome, because it's like you pick it up, you read it, you learn the item, and then you can flog the recipe back to someone in a shop and make usually a reasonable amount of money off it as well.
Yeah. I think, like, you know, like for me, I don't like, there's something about the game that just draws me in, like, and I was hooked the first time I went into that opening city, large town, whatever you want to call it, and then I figured out I could pick up a cat, pet the cat, put it back down. I walked in the pub, I did some arm wrestling, you know, went upstairs, did a bit of gambling, and I was just like, wow, all these little things, and I just went and explored the shop.
Because it still says question mark when I go upstairs, like, and I was just like trying to work out what it was.
Yeah, there's a room up there. You walk in, it's really dark and smoky, and you can sit down and play this really weird. It's like poker, but it's not. And obviously you bet. So, but I just love it because I think for me as well is just the way the lighting's done with the ray tracing. I don't know what's like on the PS5 Pro, but on PC it just looks like so good. And I was just like in this dingy little room. There's only a few lights, flickering lights, and all the smoke.
Oh yeah, things like illuminate like really well.
Yeah.
I do find it odd though that again another like weird thing that when you boot the game up,
yeah,
because at first when I booted it up, I think it was on the second day, it asked me to, like change my brightness settings and stuff, and I'm like, oh, have you not saved anything I did? Like, but no, for some reason it brings that up every time you load the game. Some reason,
no, it doesn't for me.
Yeah, every time. Oh. Yeah, on PlayStation, whenever you load it up, it just asks you to adjust your brightness settings rather than like you just like remembering what settings I've selected.
Random. Like, I don't know what, like, so when I load in the game, and I was showing Dazpos the intro video earlier, and it's like, it does it so right. Like, for me, I just feel like I'm being transported into this magical world. Like, it does like a 40-second loading, where like you're going through the cubes, and then he's sitting there, and then he walks in, and then it all just, you get into the world. But that's the only loading screen in the whole game. Like, everything else is just seamless, which is pretty impressive as well, to be honest. Apart from if you fast travel. Yeah. And apparently, the fast traveling was only added on the day one patch, so all the reviewers couldn't do any fast traveling. Which I think is quite funny, to be honest.
Well, technically, that is something that isn't in Black Desert.
Oh, okay.
So this is why you have a horse in Black Desert, and you get one pretty early on. It was to basically get from A to B. Now, to be fair, if you're trying to make an immersive game, fast traveling kind of breaks immersion because it's just bullshit teleporting.
Yeah. But it does have it does have some uses in this though, because obviously you got that sky world, and so you can. So what I do is I teleport to the sky world and then just jump off and use me wings to go to where I want a lot of the time because it's fun. I love it. But it also, like, I think the teleporting devices that are scattered around, they kind of vibe with me, like with the main story and like the kind of powers you've been given, if that makes sense, without giving too much away. So, like, in my mind, I'm like, this makes sense. But no, I know what you mean about breaking immersion because I just love getting on my horse and exploring. It's so cool. I actually did a little bit of exploring yesterday. I was like, fuck this, I'm going to go up north. Well, that was a mistake. I went up north and then it came.
The weather hit you because it has told you about early on, didn't it? About because I was trying to work out. So, is something else that the game doesn't tell you particularly? So, near your little thing in the bottom, which I think is like a mini map, isn't it? Yeah. Your little compass mini map in the bottom left. There's two bars. There's one on the right, which I kind of worked out as if to say, like, oh, right, that's how hot and cold I am.
That's right.
You know what I mean? Like, and it obviously goes into the different extremes, so you can work out what the weather's like.
Yeah.
And I noticed as the weather got darker, like the temperature started to go down.
Yeah.
And everything. But then I was just kind of like, what's the other one on the left-hand side? Because it keeps going up and down. And at first I was like, is this a hunger meter? Is it like gone full immersion, like you need to eat and all the rest of it kind of thing? Because I still like when it gets dark, I'll go back to my house and I'll
have a sleep,
room or whatever it is and sleep and then get back up again kind of thing. But no, it's actually whenever that bar, when you defeat enemies, it just slowly goes up. And then when it gets to the top, you'll get a skill point.
Oh, it's a skill point bar.
So whenever you fill that to the top, you'll get another one of those relics or whatever it is that you can socket. So that's that. But I didn't even know that until it was explained to me in something else that I was looking at, where someone was like, "Oh yeah, and that bar gives you the skill points." I was like, "Oh right."
Well, I will say that the game does not do a good job at all of explaining any systems to you. So, as an example for me, so when you unlock being able to send your dudes out from your camp to do other missions. Well, all I had on the top of the screen was, oh, you can now send your guys out to do missions. And I was thinking, and then I was like, well, how do I do it? I was walking around the camp, and I was like, there's no one, because like we're...
I've got a ton of trade goods as well that I've had no idea where the trader is.
Well, that's in your camp. That's the dude in
To
the...
actually...
Yeah. But the way, like, I actually had to Google how to fucking send my dudes out, like, because I couldn't figure it out. And basically, you press start to go on your map, and then you go over the camp and press Y, and you can do this on any town, apparently, on the map. You press Y, or triangle if you're on PlayStation, and it brings up, like, another, like, hub menu. So you can see the town in 3D, but then it has, like, 3 options at the top, and one of them is, like, a dispatch thing, and you can dispatch people to quests in those towns. So there'll be like quests of defending someone, being a guard, picking carrots or cabbages at a farm or something like that, you know. But it didn't explain that to me, and I had no fucking clue. And that's probably one of the biggest frustrations I think with the game, is it just doesn't explain any of these systems to you at all. So I have to go hunting online on how to do these things, and that is annoying. I will admit that. It's so annoying.
This is a game that could have done with a Brady Games guide. Like,
yeah.
And it would have probably done quite well, to be fair, if they'd have had one launched with it.
Yeah, for sure. You know, and I was laughing as well. I saw a video on Twitter today about people complaining. So there's a mission where you got to set the end of your arrow on fire on a brazier.
No, I did that pretty easy. They taught you how to do that in multiple games. Like,
yeah,
just get your arrow in.
I was laughing because there's people on Twitter saying, "Oh, couldn't figure out how to light the brazier," and I was thinking, "Oh my god, you're going a bit overboard here." But yeah, it was just I just had a chuckle at that. But
I mean, to be fair, I have had, like, after the first 2 hours of the game, I unequipped my bow because I was sick of firing it off.
By
non-stop
accident.
By accident, you're pushing the left trigger.
Yeah.
When you're trying to figure out, what button does that again? Oh, my bow's out. How do I put it away with, oh, there goes another arrow.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But I will say I really like the combat. I've upgraded my dude quite a bit now, so I've got loads of really cool wrestling moves I can do, which is fantastic. I've got some moves that wipe out quite a few enemies in one go, like, you know, it drops onto the floor. But it does get quite challenging with the bosses, because there's quite a few optional bosses in the game. I've died a few times to them. It's like
80, isn't there?
Yeah, so I did. So that guy in that mine, Darren, that you talked about. So I wiped out. So I cleared out the mine. Took me forever. And then I got to the boss. He was really fucking hard, I thought. It took me a few goes, but then I figured out his move set, and I just took my time and chipped away at him. There's a main quest boss that was really fucking hard, and he reminded me a little bit of Joffrey from Game of Thrones. So if you've done him, you'll know
exactly. The one you're on about.
Yeah.
I know the one you're on about. It's the guy with the crown.
Yeah.
He does, like, spams the same move over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there was another one that I did, and that was really fucking hard. There was a dude. You have to run up this hill. I'm not going to spoil it, but you have to run up this hill, fight fuck loads of people on the way, and then you end up in this massive grassy field, huge field, and there's a really hard fight there with a guy, and like he has loads of different phases, and one of them is he splits into like 4 dudes, and they're all attacking you at the same time. And, oh my fucking god! That was mega hard, but it was a beautiful area. But I was like, oh my god, those are the only bosses I've actually done in this game, and I found them all very challenging. But luckily, because
you must have fought the guy in the town who was technically like I suppose a boss.
Oh, what the first guy outside the pub?
The knight.
Yeah.
That's sitting there, yeah. Which was weird because literally, I remember you basically beat him, and then you turn around and you're like, that's what's her face from the thingy at the start, and she just walks straight past your character, and he says nothing. And it's like, what the fuck is this? Is he supposed to have amnesia or something? Because that was who you've been looking for. Just
Yeah.
literally walk straight past him. And then the other bloke's like, oh, I can point you in the right direction. And it's like, well, maybe turn around, mate, and look behind you. It's weird. Because I was just, oh, yeah, finally I've unlocked that character to use now as well. But
I've not yet. I've obviously unlocked the second character to play as, but I've not actually done it yet because Cliff is my guy.
I think Cliff's the only one you can actually complete the story stuff with anyway. Like,
Right.
I think the other ones you just use for exploration and other bits.
But just going back to the exploration is like, I'm amazed at how big the map is and how little of it I've actually explored in 16 hours. And it makes me think this is going to be like a 200-hour plus game because it's just...
Oh, it will easily be, yeah.
You know, like... exploring, because there's so much content in the world that it's just going to take for... Oh, I'll tell you something cool I did as well, actually, just while it's on my mind. So, something to take note of, in the town, there's a bell you can ring. You ring the bell.
Oh, right, yeah.
And it unmists a portion of the map for you, so you can see where the roads are.
Oh, is that what those bell towers are for? Because I keep seeing them up.
Yeah, so climb the tower and ring it. It's very much like Assassin's Creed, and then it unlocks it unmists the map. So anyway, I missed the map, and then I was like, oh, down south there's a pirate ship. I'm going to go down to this place and have a look. So I went down to this town, and apparently, like, the pirates have been harassing the people of the town. I defeated some guys, took a rowboat over to the pirate ship, and then there was fuckloads of people on this pirate ship. I fought them all and killed them all, and then I found a chest with a pirate's hat in it, and when I wear the pirate's hat, it glows when there's treasure chests close. How cool is that?
Cool.
Yeah. So, Daz Pos just asked, is 200 hours okay with me to complete? I'm completely okay with 200 hours, mate. Like, it's one of those games that I just want to explore the world. All these random things, you know, like that pirate ship thing I just mentioned. Like, I just randomly just thought, fuck it, I'm going to go down there and have a look and see what's what. And it ended up being an epic adventure, you know, just these random things that happen, which is why I put so many hours into Skyrim back in the day. You know, it's very similar in that aspect. Oh, it just feels like a playground. Well, not, you know, of this open world to go and do stuff, but I'm very much kind of like sidetracking myself, doing all the stuff around the like sidey stuff, and then doing some main questy stuff when I fancy it, and then going back. Like, I spent about 4 hours yesterday evening. Not even on the main map. I was up in the sky world, the abyss, right? Because, like, in my mind, I thought to myself, there's got to be more than those 2 little points to spawn at. So I went back, you know, where you have to solve...
I think as you get more abilities, you can explore more of it.
Yeah,
because there is hidden stuff up there, because I picked up some level up things up there, and I watched someone else play it, and he completely missed those.
So what I was going to say was, so you know that bit where that puzzle was that loads of people seem to get stuck on online? That bit...
The one where you have to do the, like, Kung Fu Punch or whatever it is. And, it's just, again, it's the controls that are the main issue. It's not the puzzle itself, it's the control system. Yeah,
so anyway, I went back there, because that was and then I ran round to the back of that big tower thing in that area, and there was like a triangle thing to walk through, so I walked through that, and there was like a little button there, so I did obviously, you know, you click in the left thumbstick and it brings your grabby thing out, and I was turning it, and then I turned it to a point where it started vibrating and making a noise, and then it opened up a whole new area for me to go and get to, so it was very puzzly to get to it, and you could easily fall off the world there, and I actually did twice and had to go back there. But I got to a point where there was another fast travel point which I could unlock, and then there was another puzzle there. So I did that puzzle, and then it opened up another area. So it's basically kind of like they flow on from each other. So you could spend hours just doing those puzzles in the sky to unlock all these points, in my mind, to fast travel to and jump down, you know?
Yeah.
And then I saw on the main menu, there's in your journal where the quests are, there's a challenge tab, and it actually has all those puzzles in that challenge thing. And I've done like 4 out of 20 plus odd or whatever. So there's quite a lot to do there as well.
Oh yeah, that thingy tab. When I was looking at it, it was just like, oh, there's a arm wrestling thing. So I went back in and did it.
Yeah.
Because obviously you have at the start you have to go there, because that was one of the other things that was weird. It was kind of like, oh, I'll take you to the town, and then it's like, right, now wrestle the dude in the thingy, and it's like, who told you to do that? How do you know to do that? And then it was like, now go outside and give a coin to the beggar, and it's like, who's telling you to do this? It's the narrative, like the way that certain things unfolded at the start was like, what? Is it just like weird intuition for you to go and do all these different bits and bobs?
Yeah.
It wasn't like the guy who led you into town was basically saying, oh, there's an arm wrestling bloke in there. If you beat him, then he'll tell you what to do, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah. No, 100%, mate. You know,
It's like I say, it's a really amazing, fantastic game that's just kind of marred by horrific design choices for some random reason.
Yeah, it's very strange in that aspect, but as I say, like, for me, I just can't stop thinking about it. I just want to play it all the time. I just want to explore more of the world. Like, there's something about it that's just got its hooks into me, and I think it's just because I just love MMOs, but I love a big open world with so much to do and just to explore, and it just feels like such a fantastical fantasy world that I just want to just see what's going on over there. Like, another example, right? Because I like doing the side stuff, and what I've noticed is on your journal, there's different questions in different areas of the map. So it'll say, like, in this area, they're called, I don't know, the Crimsons, as an example. I don't know. Like the guy you're doing the missions for, you know, in that quarry that we mentioned, Darren. Like, he's got quite a lot of quests.
The different, like, basically important people in the town.
Yeah.
But then again, I think that's optional. It's an optional.
Yeah, it's all
quest.
optional. It's all optional.
Not MSQ.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. There's so much to do. But I randomly, I was on one of those missions, but I was in a town, and I was there. There was a little boy, and he said, "Oh, sir, do you have like some time?" And I started talking to this little boy, and then he started telling me about these special mushrooms. And then they opened up this whole other quest about finding this mushroom, right? So I was like, oh, I'm going to go and find this mushroom. Anyway, so I went to this place where all these like weird floating pots, right? And there's all these like fairy folk. And they kept on fucking firing darts at me to make me go to sleep. And it kept on happening over and over again. And it happened like 4 times. And on the 4th time, this is all random. It said, I'll talk to this person by that tree, which I did. And basically I had to do like another quest for this fairy folk person, which was to climb a walking tree to get this pot thing for them. And then they let me into their town. And then when I got into their town, I found this cave with the mushrooms. But I had to do something to stop the other mushrooms in there from making me go to sleep, which I'm not going to spoil because I want people to figure it out. And then it's like this special mushroom in the game. I was like, oh, right. So that took me hours just to do that. It was just like, and I didn't even have to do it. It just took me on this weird adventure to this random town in the map where you have to do another mission to be allowed into the town. And once you're allowed into the town, it sets up like a trading with your camp as well. So there's that as well. So it all kind of links in now, like everything kind of links into each other. But also, the game's got quite a lot of details that I think people miss. So I was watching a video today where if it's been raining, right, if you've got a shady bit and a sunny bit, right? The puddles in the sun will evaporate quicker than the puddles in the shade, which is fucking insane to me. Like, wow, that, like all these little details I just think are phenomenal. Like, there's all these little things you can, stroke all the animals in the game, pet them, feed them, pick up a cat, wander around. Like, there's a bloke who you can sell animals to, so you can literally like steal someone's sheep, walk to this black market guy and sell the sheep to him to get money. There's all these like really bizarre things, man. I love it because it's just ultimate freedom to do whatever you want. I'm just lost in the world. I'm just absolutely loving it. I really, really am. So I can set aside those couple of like the things with the controls that people are moaning about. Doesn't bother me. I've got used to them now. I think this game's amazing. I really do. I can't. All those little things, I don't care. I'm just loving the world. I'm loving the game. It's stunning, in my opinion. So I don't really know what else to say. We've been talking about it for an hour. And next week we'll be talking about it a lot more. So final thoughts, Darren, then, because we've been an hour, we're sending Nick to sleep here. Just your final kind of thoughts on Crimson Desert before we move on to something else.
Like I say, really, really good game, marred by absolutely horrendous design choices.
Fair enough. I'm going to go out on a limb and say this will probably be my game of the year at the moment. It is... I love it. The world is just... It sucked me right in. I'm loving the fantastical nature of it without giving too much away. I'm loving the options. There's so much you can do. Yeah, it's fucking stunning. But I think you've got to be a certain time of gamer to enjoy this. If you're someone that is time limited, this is not the game for you. If you're looking for an 8-hour kind of story slog, this is not the game for you. But if you're someone that appreciated Skyrim and just wandering off and doing what the fuck you wanted, or Red Dead Redemption in the same regard, like in Red Dead Redemption, I got lost in the map and just did loads of random shit and I spent ages on the camp and that, then this is the game for you. Which I think this is kind of a Marmite game. But again, I think it harkens back to some of the old school gaming of it doesn't hold your hand. It is hard a lot of time. I think, that's kind of been lost in modern gaming where people are very used to a story. You're getting dragged through. It's very obvious where you're meant to go, how to solve things. And this is on the harder side, which I think probably why a lot of so-called journalists who play everything on Noobenstein mode have reviewed it poorly. But, I think
another
it's
reason
amazing.
is that people generally like to rush through the story content, and you can't in this game. You have to upgrade your gear and find better equipment, level your character up. You can't expect to just go charging through everything like with your bog standard stuff.
No,
or like,
100%.
I've got this new sword, that'll be fine. It's like, yeah, but did you level it up?
Yeah.
Multiple times. Did you level up your gear to give you like increased crit chances, to increase your defense? Did you level up your health points? Did you increase your stamina so you can block more?
Yeah, but this is all the thing that if you're used to like an RPG, you're used to doing those things. But if you're not,
people are trying to play this. It literally, I always looked at this as basically it's been designed as an MMO, but it's single player.
Yeah. No, I don't think
had all those aspects to it. Yeah. But yeah, you can kind of understand how some people are going to have issues because this isn't going to be for everyone.
No,
like, I didn't like Red Dead 2. It didn't click for me. I fucked it off after a couple of hours. Didn't like it.
I loved Red Dead 2, man. Such a good
game.
But
if it was to come out again, I would give it another go. And one of the main reasons I hated it is because when you pull the trigger, it didn't fire your second shot. It just chambered the next round, which should happen automatically, in my opinion. that the game decided to do it that way, and it kind of really started to piss me off after a while.
Fair enough. It's always the small things that get you, mate, isn't it? You know, you struggle to look past things, I think. Because this does remind me of Red Dead 2 a lot in a lot of aspects. But
yeah, some people have said it's like Red Dead meets Assassin's Creed meets like an MMO, basically.
Meet Zelda. Breath
yeah,
of the Wild.
Zelda, a bit of Zelda as well. But then again, that's only because of the sky place, you know what I mean, really.
And the climbing. Because you can climb any surface.
Very, with a very similar stamina thing as well.
Yes.
Yeah. But I did love it when I started leveling my stamina up, and I was like, "Oh, I've got extra little blocks that are now going around that."
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And you can glide for longer, and
Although there have been some points where I've literally seen like ore veins halfway up a mountainside with no bit to actually stand on or grip to.
Well, you can actually break the
like,
stones with your force punches as well. You don't have to use a pickaxe.
Nice.
Yeah.
So I suppose you could just climb up and do that.
Yeah.
It was either that, or I was thinking maybe you could just use the other guy and use his arm cannon.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. True. Yeah. Yeah, because once you beat that boss, you get that.
Have you come across the red little needle things yet?
Red little needle things. I've no idea what you're on about.
So there's
on the sides of the wall.
Yes,
and they fuck you over.
And they basically emit and they deal AoE damage to you, but you can smash them.
Yeah. Very annoying. Oh, I just avoided them.
It reminds me of like a corruption.
Yeah.
I think it is like a weird sort of type of corruption.
Yeah. Okay.
That will probably get explained as you sort of go into the story and that, but yeah. But yeah, no, I just thought I'd mention that.
Yeah, sweet. I think we're going to move on now because we've been an hour on one game. Nick's been very patient. So we will be obviously talking about this next week. So come back for more impressions next week. But so far, it's a thumbs up from me. And I think a thumb in the kind of sideways to up for Darren.
Yeah, it'll be improved with patches and stuff. But I think there's a lot of valid criticisms with it that technically should have just been avoided. Could have easily been avoided. I think if they'd have allowed people to sort of play test the game a bit earlier, and I think most people will bring up a lot of these issues, like why can I push square to talk to this one, but if I want to talk to this character, I can't push square. I have to hold down another button, then highlight them, and then push square. Because there was actual. I was watching people play the beginning of the game, and when it asks you to speak to Unka at the start, people were just walking up, and they were like, "I can't talk to him. I'm pushing square, and it doesn't let you get close to them either, does it? Like you normally walk right up to people and push square.
Yeah,
so there's kind of like a little thing in the way, and he was just like, "I can't speak to them." And then, literally after a few minutes, he was just like, "I don't know what to do." And I was just like, "There's an issue straight out." Which, some people look at that and be like, "Oh, journalist," but it's like, no, you've spoken to every single other person up to that point in one way, and now the game wants you to talk to this person by doing something completely different.
Yeah.
And it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. I know what
you're saying. I don't know how they changed that, because I think the reason for that is because when you hold down that button and highlight, you can then either sort of say hello to them, which increases how
much they like
your relationship with that character, which is again another thing from Black Desert. Or you can then talk to them or give them a gift, isn't it? That's the way it's done that way.
Nice.
But it does seem like arse about face, and people should have easily brought up the storage. Just said what, no storage? That makes no sense. Every single RPG game has some sort of form of storage to it.
Yeah.
Or somewhere where you can at least go and bank some of your items. So you're not carrying them around with you the whole time.
Yeah, I just want to wait.
You know those trade goods, Webby?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I've got 20 of them.
Yeah, well, once
you've done 20 inventory slots all taken up.
Well, once you get your camp
I
up and
can't do
running, mate,
anything
you
with.
can.
I haven't got my camp up and running. I'm in the middle of other missions.
Well, yeah.
And I can't just chuck them in my box.
Yeah, I know.
Which you'd think, yeah.
I'm going to say it has sold well. Sold 2 million copies, which is really good, and it's currently the third most played game on Steam today. So that's pretty good.
And the annoying thing is they should know that if they'd have dealt with a lot of these teething problems and slight issues that people have with the game, it would have sold way more, because everyone's going to have a friend who's played it and he's probably going to be like, well, the controls are pretty aids, and it's going to sort of put off people buying it, or at least until like it gets updated or patches. Because there's been a lot of good games out recently as it is anyway.
Yeah.
So this is going to be one of those games where you'll see in like a couple of years' time in like a shop or something, like, oh, I can't believe someone's going to be able to buy that for like 12 quid. What a bargain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Cool. And there's other systems that we've not even brought up, like you have a house and you can decorate it, which I've not really delved into, and I'm sure there's other stuff we've forgotten about, but we'll be talking about this for weeks to come because it's so fucking awesome. So, right, let's move on from Crimson Desert. Let me know. Yeah, let me know in Discord if you've got it, if you don't got it, if you're interested in it, thoughts. I'm always interested. Anyway, we're going to let Nick talk because he's sat here for an hour and 10 minutes twiddling his thumbs.
Is it safe to come out now?
yeah.
I mean, I saw the video you played after 30 seconds and you could pick up a cat and pet it, so 10 out of 10.
100%, mate.
Oh, can we talk about something else now?
Do it. Go for it.
Yeah.
I finished Resi 9, or Requiem, whatever you call it. Well, you said you finished it, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, and Webby hasn't played it yet because he's bought this stupid game with broken controls. And, yeah, I mean, that's a brilliant game. I think that's definitely the best of the 7, 8, and 9 trilogy. Do you reckon that's right?
It's hard to tell. Because obviously I look at 7 and 8 as like different games because they're like first person.
Yeah.
And I thoroughly enjoyed 8. I know a lot of people hated it. And there's a lot of people that like 7 because it's like really dark and whatnot. But no, I thought 9 is a fantastic game. Like I say, there was only a couple of little issues I had with 9. Apart from that, it was like absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, like I said, I think the one thing that this one had, which 7 and 8 didn't, because they felt like a reboot, and this one had it, especially with Leon, is just nostalgia. Like everywhere you go, just loads of callbacks to the old games. Obviously, you know, playing as Leon and stuff like that. But I mean, I'm trying not to spoil it, but you know, there's like so many bits. Like, let's say you go back to the police station, which that's not a spoiler because the police station's on the front cover of the game, and then all the trailers.
And everyone's seen it in the trailers, yeah.
Yeah, so and it's on the front cover, so you know it is weird. It does feel like this. It, like you said, it feels like two different games in one. You got the Grace and the Leon, and like I said, the Grace is more of the older type of Resi, you know, Resi 7 and 8, the first person sort of scary type game. And obviously Leon, all-out action, which is weird because I have seen a lot of people play the Grace campaign in third person, which I think I'm going to do next time I play this.
I did it on my second playthrough. Yeah, I did it on my second playthrough.
Yeah, that's what I think I'll do, just to see.
You can see around corners and stuff easier, especially if you're on a higher difficulty and stuff.
Yeah, I think you need to. Plus, everyone I know who's played it says once you get about 2 and a bit hours in and you're playing basically the first big chunk as Grace, there's a bit of a massive difficulty spike where I know Resident Evil games do this, where you don't really have much ammo, you don't really have much health, but the game almost stops, like even on normal. So I don't know if Capcom are gonna patch it or change it, because it's a bit, maybe it's slightly easier on, like, once you know what to do, because obviously with Grace, the whole point is don't attack any of the enemies pretty much, just kneecap them, shove them out of the way, or avoid them as best you can. And obviously when you come back later as Leon, you just go absolutely psycho mode on all of them,
or you like, I killed everything as Grace, so there's nothing there for him.
Yeah,
apart from a couple of like blister heads or something that might still be knocking around.
I like those as well. The blister heads, which are kind of like Crimson heads from the first Resi remake and things like that. Which it's like you can kill. I mean, you can pretty much kill anything as Leon. You either sneak up on it and axe it in the face, or get a few shots and he can like roundhouse kick him and mel him. I mean, Leon, he moves well for a guy in his late 40s, early 50s.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, just stuff like that. And there's, like I said, there's so much. I mean, I put some few bits I like in there. Like when you see like a liquor on the window. Remember that bit when you get to the lab near the end? It's like a callback to Resi 2. I think they finally got Leon's hair right, because they keep having it the wrong shade of brown in the restaurant. And I don't want to spoil it too much, though, because some of the other bits, I'll just say so and people have, because I know Webby says he wants to play this, when his friend lends it to him so he can play it, obviously. And yeah, so obviously when someone turns up, well, there's a couple of enemies that turn up from Resi 2 in this one. And you're like, oh shit, here we go. Like I've liked watching people stream this just to see their reactions to it as well. And obviously the weird bit, a section on a bike, that was awesome. Most of those are quite crap, really. But I just thought this game's just like, I think it's just the nostalgia, like, because I don't know if you had the same, which where you get to the police station, which is actually quite further into the game than I thought it would be. And Leon just pauses before he opens the doors, and then you get like a flashback of like the second game, and then you just see him, he breathes, and then he opens the door, and it just plays like a revamped version
of the music, the auto music and stuff,
dun, 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 and I'm just like, oh, I think I just came. That's what's like. It's just like it knows what it's doing, and there's loads of little. Like, there's so many Easter eggs, and if like, Tofu, if you see that little bugger, and you're like, oh,
right. Yeah, I did try and avoid that, because I was literally sitting there, and I was like, why can I hear something bouncing? Yeah. It sounds like something bouncing, and I turned around, and I was like, the fuck? Weird. Like, literally just, because he can apparently appear in multiple places, depending.
Oh, I thought it was only the police station in that one corner.
Oh, no, in multiple places in the police station he can apparently appear.
I don't know you could hear him, but I didn't think so. But because I've played Resi 2, like the original and the remake, like, he makes that little bouncy noise as he runs. So when I heard it, I'm like, Tofu? And then I just saw him out the window, and I was just like, oh! As like I said, whereas 7 and 8, like, decent games, but they were so far removed from Resident Evil games and Umbrella and the characters you knew, it's like starting again. So I mean, there was a few things which I thought was ironic, which, I put a few things negatives about the game because I had to try and think of something, is the main bad guys, like Gideon and I think Asino, who's like fake Wesker, the blonde guy with the glasses, kind of boring as bad guys. I mean, in 7 you had like Jack Baker and things like that, and in 8 you had like Lady Dimitrescu with her massive tits being 8 foot tall and stuff like that. These characters not even close to that, are they? Like, as like memorable or stuff like that. But which I did find, which was kind of strange, is in 7 and 8 you had really interesting bosses and characters like that, but the enemies were just basic, like, blob monsters that all looked identical. So, whereas this one, the normal enemies are all different. It's not just zombies. You've got, because the zombies, this is like a mutated T virus, they held, like, characteristics from before they were zombies. So when you've got like the woman who was singing, she walks around as a zombie singing and screaming at you. You've got a woman dressed up as a maid who's walking around clearing up blood and screaming and stuff like that. So you've got so many different varied normal enemy types, but I think they forgot about the main bosses and stuff like that. And I don't know, Switch, I don't spoil. Which ending did you get the first time?
The good ending.
Yeah, so you were paying attention then. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't paying attention, so I got the bad ending, which I don't know if it's the bad end. Well, it is a bad ending, but you have to really pay attention to a cutscene.
You skip a boss fight if you choose the wrong ending.
Yeah, but then you see something. It's good to see both, but yeah, to get the proper ending and stuff like that. And there's so many like little spoilers, and it's open. I think we've had people are saying this is almost our like Avengers moment, and for Resi 10 they're just going to get everyone back together and stuff like that, which would be nice. And it opened up a few questions like, with Leon. Did you see what he? Or did you see it at the end? What he did after he spoke to Grace, and then he took his gloves off. So did you see that bit, or did you see that in a video later? What he did?
I can't remember. I just know they both. I don't really want to say too much about the ending bit. They talk about obviously another character.
Oh yeah, they talk about another, but he was in the other games. But like, Webby will probably forget it anyway. He takes his gloves on and put on a wedding ring. I won't say it's a spoiler.
I'm pretty sure you see him with a wedding with that ring at some other point anyway.
Well, I thought pretty sure he wore gloves throughout the whole game, but he deliberately put it on, and you're like, who did he marry? Was it Ada? Was it Claire? It could have been anyone. It's just little things like that. It's like, it's good that he's at least got someone now, because, he's been cocked-blocked pretty much like all the Resi games up till this point. And that was kind of a running meme where he kept trying to get with Ada and she was pushing him away. And then Sherry was trying to get with him and he's like, nah. And I think that's similar in 6, but it's just a really good, it's really good game. And it's just like an honest game. And I don't know what it is, like, why for some reason Capcom, it's probably just it's Japanese, they haven't gone like a lot of the rest of the developers are just hiding so much behind DLC and stuff like that. But yeah, very decent game. I think you should get it, Webby, when you get the chance.
Yeah, I think the problem is just really wanted to get Crimson Desert. I did get another game as well, so this has gone on the back burner.
I looked at it. I just paid 75 quid for Resi. I'm like, do I want to pay 50, 60 quid for another game like 3 weeks later?
Yeah, and that's a problem. Like Crimson Desert's been the game that I've been itching for a long time,
yeah.
And
plus, Resi, even if you did buy it, they go down in price really quickly.
I know, yeah,
and then bring out like gold editions with all the DLC and stuff. So it's not going anywhere, is it?
No, I love the Resident Evil games, but it's like I picked up the other Resident Evil games on Steam for like 15 quid. 6 months plus later. So that's one of those games I know I'll play before the end of the year, but I'll get it in a sale.
Yeah. Oh, that'll be on half price for like Halloween. Yeah. They always seem to be really cheap around Halloween games.
But everyone I've spoken to about this has said how amazing it is. No one's had any negativity towards it at all. The videos I've watched, it looks stunning in the graphics department. So I am itching to play it, mate. Don't get me wrong, but funds.
Oh yeah, the graphics.
Don't have infinite funds, mate. So.
Yeah, I don't know how they got the graphics as good, because I think they're still using like a version of the RE engine, but it's just compared to 8 was a little bit at some areas, and some areas it was awful. Like when you were in like the I can't think of what it was called though now. My mind's up. The area with Lady Dimitrescu, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That area was like really great graphics, but when you went to some other areas outside, the graphics were kind of crap. Whereas this, pretty much throughout the whole game, it's just got a level of like polish with the graphics where they've just gone through everything. It kind of feels like You know, The Last of Us, like the amount of polish they've put into the graphics for that, it's kind of like they've gone to the next level with that type of thing. But yeah, like I said, most people, if they're massive Resi fans, have already played it by now.
Sweet.
But yeah,
cool.
Good game. What makes me want to play all the old ones again, which I probably will do.
Good times. Thank you very much, Darren.
Right, yeah, we might as well talk about the other game we played this week.
Yes.
Not for an hour and 20 minutes.
No, we won't take that long.
No. No, we basically, me, you, Peebs, and Darkest Frost went through Toxic Commando.
It's fucking awesome, mate, isn't it?
Yeah, it was a really good game. I thoroughly enjoyed it. There's still, obviously some bits and bobs I wouldn't mind doing on it as well. Still.
Yeah, me too, mate.
Afterwards.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, like we talked about this last week, it's basically like your Left 4 Dead style formula in a semi sort of openish kind of environment that you get on each map, where you can sort of traverse around in vehicles, raid different sort of storages for upgrades that you will then use to spend on defences during like the big horde bits towards the end, and they get quite hectic, don't they, as they go on.
Yeah. There was a few moments where we defeated the horde, and I was just sweating because it's just so stressful. Like, oh my god, they're coming from over there, guys! Oh my god, get some grenades over or set a turret down. I was like, oh, it's just absolutely mental, but in a fun way, you know. Yeah, I've had a great time on this with you and the guys, because I think I mentioned last week, it's the first time since really kind of Left 4 Dead Back for Blood, but this gives me more Left 4 Dead vibes with the fun factor, where we've managed to get a full squad on, or four of us on, for multiple times in a week, in an evening, and played for a couple of levels a night. It's been a lot of fun. I think all the levels are pretty well designed. Some are bigger than others, but they're kind of open areas where we spend quite a lot of time exploring and picking up all the extra stuff, which does help when you get to the kind of end boss battle on all the maps. It's enjoyable because there's different weapons to pick up, lots of different types of enemies. Obviously, the boss fights are a lot of fun. I like the fact there's multiple types of vehicles as well. Like there's an ambulance, which gets stuck in the mud a lot, but it can heal your team, which is fantastic. There's another vehicle that has a winch, and it can drop mines, which is quite cool. There's another one with a winch, which has a turret on the back. So there's various different vehicles to traverse the world if you want to go in a vehicle, and I quite like the vehicles, to be honest. But yeah, it's just... the reason I compare it to Left 4 Dead is that there's certain enemy types that are like, you know what they're going to do. Like there's one that'll run up to you and grab you and slam you up and down on the floor. One of your teammates has to fucking save you from it. And there's the blowy up ones. But again, like the world just looks amazing. All like the levels, like the graphics is really nice. And it's just fun. I like the little hub world where you can all run around in before you go into the mission and do your mini games and get your load out. And your characters, you've got 4 different things you can do. You've got like a healer guy, a dude, healer. You can be like someone that fires like electrical fireballs. You've got like a tank type, which can put like a shield up. And there's a drone person where your drone can do damage. So I quite like that. There's not loads of missions though, is there? How many was it? Is it? I think it's 9. Am I right in saying 9?
9 or 10.
Yeah, but it's taken us a good few weeks to get through it all, and we have replayed the missions multiple times as well. And what I quite like about replaying it is the randomness. You'll spawn in a different area. Enemy placements are different. Mission placements are different. So it just gives you a little bit more of that replayability, which I like as well. So, Yeah, me and Darren will definitely be going back to do quite a bit of replaying on this, I think, mate. Good fun.
With any luck, yeah, we'll get the lads back in and do some more on it.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a cool game, man.
Yeah, recommend. And like we said before as well, it's a nice price as well, isn't it? It's not a expensive game.
Yeah, it's 35 quid, but if you own Space Marine 2 on Steam, you get it for 24, I think it is, which is pretty good. Because obviously it's made by the same people. So, yeah, I think it's a great game, man. I'm really, really enjoying it. Cool. Anything else you want to say on it, Darren?
Not off the top of my head that I can think of. No.
All right, sweet. Okay, well, I'm going to talk about another new release that came out this week that I've been playing, and I've been really enjoying it as well. PC only at the moment. I hope it comes to consoles because I feel like you console gamers are missing out on this. It's a little game called Retro Rewind. I can confirm that it does run really well on the Steam Deck as well. However, talking about controls from Crimson Desert, you need to map the buttons on the Steam Deck because there's certain buttons, keyboard buttons like E and Z and things, which aren't on the controller, which you need to map to your controller to be able to when you're placing items in your store to be able to move them around, to actually move them. That helps massively. Anyway, I'm loving this game. So basically, it is Blockbuster Simulator. You are running a VHS rental store in the year 1990. And I'm loving it because you manage everything. So it starts off, your shop is quite small, but you can completely customize the name of it, customize the walls, different carpets, and you manage it by buying in a load of videos, and you buy shelves, you put the shelves up, and then you put the videos on the shelves, and then people rent them. But if you have OCD, man, like I get proper OCD on this because basically when you're putting the videos on the shelf, there's a tag at the top, and it puts it into a genre like horror or sci-fi and stuff like that. But if you mix them up, it'll just say mixed. I hate that. So I've got like a shelf for my horror, shelves for my sci-fi, shelves for my drop, all the different, like loads of genres. But as you play the game, it unlocks more genres. So you can get pornos, you can get romance, all the different things. So I've actually got to a point where I've expanded my shop and I've got a little shady back room where all my porn videos are, which is quite funny. And I've got like a little neon sign above the doors with saying XXX on it, which is just hilarious. But it's quite intricate really, because as you play the game, so you've got like a little computer on there and it tells you the new releases. So then so basically you can buy the new release films, and they're all kind of plays on films that we all know and love. Like, so there'll be like Back to the Future, but it won't quite be called Back to the Future, but the picture will be, like I think it's called like 181 gigawatts or something. And there's a picture of a car, so it's Back to the Future, if that makes sense. But then it'll be like if you buy 5 of the new release videos, you get a little standee, and you put the little standee up in your shop. So when you start off, your shop's quite small, and as you earn money, you can expand the shop. You buy more shelves, buy more videos, different genres. On a Tuesday and a Thursday, there's a dodgy dealer in the back alley, and you can buy pirated tapes off him, which is pretty cool. But it works through the year, so there's different themes throughout the year. So you'll get like summer, it goes through all the different phases of the year. Summer, autumn, winter, spring, and there'll be different events in the town you're in. So if there's a destruction derby on, the action films have become more popular for the day, and you can so at Christmas I decked out my store with a Christmas tree and presents, and I had a big Christmas movie section, and that proved very popular. But it gets quite hectic. So you got people returning your tapes. So you get them from the bin, and some people forget to rewind the tape, so you have to rewind it yourself. And then you put the tapes back on the shelf. But then you got people wanting to rent, so you're at the checkout and you're having to give, it's all cash, so you have to give them the change. But I've got to a point now where I've hired an employee. So I've got the employee now doing the checkout. So I just do the tapes. And when you get to level 20, which I've not got to yet, you can actually hire 2 employees. So I don't have to do anything. I can just watch the money roll in. I'm just loving this because it's very chill. The graphics are just kind of cartoony. I think it's the same engine they used that people used to make that Schedule 1 game, because the people look like the Schedule 1 people. I'm guessing there's some kind of engine that's been used to make these type of games. But I don't know, something about it, something obviously very nostalgic about retro rewind video store simulator, because it just harkens back to the glory days of physical media. You could go somewhere and rent a film and return it a couple of days later. But also what's quite funny is people will return videos late, and then it comes quite interesting. So I've had a couple of times where people have come to rent another movie, and on their account it says, they gave their last film in a couple of days late, so they got like a £5 fine. And then they start to argue. And then I get quite insistent where I'm like, no, you've got to pay. So they get pissed. So sometimes they get really pissed off and they just shove everything on the floor and storm out. So then you've got to tidy up and pick all the videos up and put them back on the shelf. But then you can unlock more stuff. So I've got a popcorn machine. I've got a slushy machine. So then obviously you got to give them those if they want to buy it. I have seen later on you can unlock an arcade machine to put in there. I've not got that far yet. It's just a cool little game, man. I'm just digging it. It's just very chill, as I say. Just slowly expanding my shop and enjoying the 90s vibes of videotapes, and it's just good fun. So I highly recommend it. As I say, it runs on Steam Deck. Obviously, it runs on PC. Perfectly fine. I think it's I don't even think it was that expensive. I'm just trying to remember how much it was. I'm just going to look. £13.40. So, bargain. Pick it up if you've got a PC or Steam Deck or whatever. It's really, really fun. There's quite a lot of nuances to it. People can ring up and reserve movies. You have a little reserve shelf. You can customize, obviously, the shelves. So I've got they look different colors for different genres of films. You can put little decorations hanging off the ceiling and all sorts, man. It's just really customizable. A lot of fun. It's good vibes. So yeah, highly recommend it. Retro Rewind Video Store Simulator. Get it now. Back to Nick. If he's awake.
I'm like, I wasn't playing video games.
That's all right.
Yeah. What have I been playing? I've been going very retro the last couple of weeks. I've been playing a lot of old games on the DS and 3DS.
Wow, old school.
Which is cool.
Yeah.
Well, they're starting to go up in price now, like second hand. I think a lot of them got destroyed by kids, so if you get a decent 3DS, they're going for more now than they were brand new on eBay.
Wow.
And some of the prices of the games are going up, so I mean I've only got 3 of them, so that's okay. But yeah, I've been playing a few games just trying them. It's I think Mario Kart DS, 3DS. I can't remember. I think that's 7. Played a little bit of that when I was in Amsterdam and stuff like that. But the main one I've been playing is Dragon Ball Z Attack of the Saiyans, which I played for about 6-7 hours. It's
Attack of the what?
Attack of the Saiyans.
Okay.
Saiyans.
Yeah. I found it.
That's the Goku with the pointy hair people. Yeah, and then you'll see what it's like. It's sort of like an old school JRPG. It's actually done by the people who done Xenoblade, because they done Xenogears, and then they did a few games like this before they went on to the Xenoblade games. But they're very decent. Like I said, it's Dragon Ball Z, but it's only one saga, which is the Saiyan saga. If people who like Dragon Ball, so that's basically it went from Dragon Ball to Dragon Ball Z when Goku went from being a kid to an adult. It's the first sort of saga of that. You see what I mean? So it only goes from where that goes to when you meet Vegeta, who's like basically it's Attack of the Saiyans, and it's really good. It's like I said, it's an old school JRPG sort of. It is 2D, but it's that weird sort of funny angled 2D, if you know what I mean. Webby, it's not completely top down like the old school Zeldas. It's kind of like, is it isometric? Is that the right word?
Yeah.
From the view, I think that's like isometric type thing, and you play as like all the different characters, and like I say, it's more like Dragon Ball Final Fantasy type game, and it's got like a lot of the same like really decent artworks. Obviously, it's fully licensed, so it's got some of like the sound effect, the music, and that from the TV shows, and it's really good. Like a lot copies from Final Fantasy. You know, you've got like the random battles, turn-based battles, and things like that. And you have things like instead of getting the limit break, you have your sparking meter, which I think it's funny because the latest game Dragon Ball come out was called Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, because they use stuff like that. So basically, it's the same. It works exactly the same as the limit breaks from like the PS1 Final Fantasies or Final Fantasy 7. Where once it builds up, you can then do combos with the other characters if they're also sparking, so it brings up like the sparking menu and things like that. But it's just really nice like playing like an old school game like this, because I think they started coming back last year with Claire Obscure, but a lot of these types of RPGs sort of went away for a while, didn't they, Webby?
Yeah.
Yeah, and now with that, and I think they were remaking some, but like they haven't really made. I think other than Octopath, I think that was about it really. But I think they've but the last few years they made a bit of a comeback. But yeah, I played this for like 6 or 7 hours, and there's loads of like stats and that. It's not overly complicated, but you can work out what to upgrade your health, buy extra moves and stuff like that. And then like I said, it follows the TV show, so it's quite good for that. And yeah, so been enjoying that at work rather than actually working.
Fair enough. Good times.
Yeah, but you didn't really do many handhelds though, did you, Webby, back in the day?
No, I did have a DS because I used to. What did I play? What was that fucking?
What, brain training?
No, well, I need some brain training because my mind has just gone blank. What's one of the greatest JRPGs of all time that's just gone from my head, where you time travel?
Chrono Trigger.
Yeah, I remember playing that on the DS. Whilst
I've got that.
When I was working,
I
completed it whilst I was working as a prison officer, sitting in a hospital, handcuffed to a prisoner. Yeah. What a game. Amazing.
Yeah, I had that in there. I was going to start it, but it's weird because when you it depends what you do, because I had my 3DS, which plays normal DS games, but sometimes, like especially with text, which I noticed on that, sometimes the text is a bit blurry because they've upped the resolution, and they just sort of do some weird stretching thing. So I tried to play this. I'm sort of flicking between my 3DS XL and my normal DSi XL.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like, the text, if the text is blurry and you can't really read it, it's kind of, like, not worth doing it.
Yeah.
But I was going to play that. Plus, they keep having rumours that they're going to, like, remake Chrono Trigger. So I'm like, do I want to wait for that one? But
I think I actually own it.
But yeah, like I say, I also wanted to stream it as well, so it's just like... It's a long old game, though, isn't it, Chrono Trigger? It's like a good, 30, 40, 50-hour game.
Amazing,
if you do
though.
it. But
Amazing.
yeah, there's a lot of games stuck on them DSs, and it's just weird because I think you can do it, but I think it's a little bit more faffing about to get like DS games and 3DS games running through emulation.
Yeah.
Especially on Steam, because obviously we're all right getting normal games, but obviously with the touch screen and the two screens, it's just like, how do you get that to work and how do you get that onto a stream type thing?
Yeah.
But yeah, plus, like I said, so many games I've got and I want to play, so I'm like, I will play them all eventually.
Good times. Cool. Thank you, Nick. Fantastic.
Back to Darren.
Back to Darren.
World War Z was a game that I also played quite a bit of this week.
You're just in the vibes, aren't you, for the same dev team, man? Space Marine, World War Z, Toxic Commando, all the same people, man.
Yeah.
Good times. I think it's only like £2 on Steam. Something that's really cheap at the moment.
Yeah, so I went through that again. Sort of finished that. Started off on some of the DLC campaign stuff, I suppose. So it's like Marseille and is it the Vegas one? I think it's Vegas, yeah.
Nice.
So yeah, I was just like mucking around on that a fair bit, and in and out of that, switching between Monster Hunter Rise as well. Although there's a mode in that I'm not a massive fan of, to be fair. It's called the Rampage.
Okay.
So every sort of bunch of missions, you'll get like another one where it's like, oh, we need you to defend the fortress, and you've got to like set down all these like defenses, and monsters keep jumping through. And they've done similar things like it in other Monster Hunter games, but better. Where you just basically get like a giant monster and you repel it, kind of thing.
Right, okay.
But in this one, it's like you have to run around placing objectives down, leveling it up a little bit so you can place other better defenses and stuff. And it was just kind of like, this is shit. I just want to go out and hunt monsters in zones, please.
Well, fair dues.
So yeah, that was a bit of a storyline I didn't like. So that's quite easily the worst part of the game I've come across so far. Everything else has been like thoroughly enjoyable, beating up all the different monsters, like old returning ones from the previous games and new ones that sort of like were in this one.
Cool.
Yeah, there's those two, nice and quick.
Yeah. Okay, so from me, I've only played 2 other games very briefly this week because obviously I've been so hyped for Crimson Desert. Obviously, they've been doing me weeklies on Gran Turismo 7, as I do every week. Absolutely loving it. But I did actually play another new release this week, but only for about an hour. So I'm not really going to talk about it very much at all. Death Stranding 2 on PC came out the same day as Crimson Desert. So I only played about an hour. And all I'm going to say is, wow, those graphics are absolutely insane. Wowzers. Like, I'm going to talk about some of the AI bollocks in the news. Don't need it. This engine that they're using is so, like, I don't think I've ever seen anything quite like it. Like, when I dropped into Death Stranding 2 and you got the baby and you're just walking along this cliff edge, I was like, whoa, this is nuts. I don't think I've ever seen anything this realistic in a video game.
Yeah, the Decima engine, it's amazing because obviously they got like 60 FPS and good graphics and everything out of the base PS5.
Yeah.
With that engine on that game, and you're just kind of like, all right.
Yeah.
I'd say it is probably in theory the best game engine on the market, to be fair.
It's just stunning, mate. It is just absolutely stunning. But I can't really talk about anything more than that because all I did was spend ages just gawping at the scenery, walk to my base, watch that cutscene at the base, and then saved it and turned it off. So I've literally done fuck all in the game. I just wanted to do a little bit just to see what it looked like, and I was very impressed. Very, very impressed. So once I get my arse off Crimson Desert, which I don't know when that's going to happen, I will play Death Stranding 2, because I think this was a lot of people's game of the year last year, so it's definitely got the quality there. And I really enjoyed Death Stranding 1. So, and apparently they've refined a lot of the gameplay mechanics in 2 compared to 1. So, yeah, I just wanted to say that. Yeah, I played an hour on PC. It looks stunning, and I can't wait to play some more at some point in the near future. That's all I've played. Have any of you two played anything else you haven't mentioned that you want to discuss?
Not that I can think of off the top of my head, no.
Cool. Nick, anything from you?
Yeah, just a couple, but that's also part of news as well. It was just for the news part, which, because if we're going into news, I suppose I'll just start. It's just
go for it.
Don't know if you've got this, but the Switch 2 had a decent update just lately. I don't know if you've got that one or
nope, I don't. So carry on.
No. Well, I don't know if Switch knows it, but he might enjoy it depending on how he does. But basically, the newest update, it's they've done it now. So when you play Switch 1 games, it forces him to play in docked mode or in handheld version, if you know what I mean. So obviously, the Switch 1 was 720p, but when you put it into the dock and played it onto the telly, it would play at 1080p for a lot of games, like Mario Kart and things like that, and some other games that ran even lower than 720p. The dock gave it a little bit of a boost, usually just, like I say, resolution, nothing major. And yeah, so it's in a setting, it's updated, you have to go in and turn it on. It's called like Switch 1 boost mode. And it makes, like I say, it disables the touchscreen when you're playing the game, because it thinks you're playing it on TV. So like Mario Kart, when you played that like in handheld, you got 720p. When you played it on the telly, you got 1080p, and a lot of games were like that. So now you can play them in full, the best graphics, 1080p in handheld mode, which is pretty decent.
Oh, that's good, yeah.
But there are, it's pretty good. There's a few, like I said, it's weird. It disables the like I say, it disables the touchscreen, because obviously the Switch thinks your Switch is on the TV, so you wouldn't be using a touchscreen anyway, would you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, if there was some games where I can't think of ones like if you're playing like JRPG games and you were, I don't do it very often. If ever, you press the buttons on the Switch and then sometimes press the screen in the menu. So obviously that wouldn't work because it's done like that. But yeah, but some games, like, when I was playing, I tried to go back to it, Xenoblade 1, Definitive Edition.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of, like, the worst, like, handheld mode games. That had, like, a dynamic resolution, and that went anywhere from, like, 540p down to, like, 360p. But if you played it docked, that then boosted it up to, like, 720. So after doing the update and playing it, after the update, I'm like, I can get into playing this game now, because like when you're in like the big open world areas of Xenoblade, it just went like really blurry, and the draw distance was crap. So that's good, because this is one of the things that fans have been asking for since they announced like the Switch 2 and backwards compatibility.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a nice thing if like people do, but you don't play yours handheld that much, though, do you, Switch?
No.
No, so it probably wouldn't affect you at all.
No, not off the top of my head, no.
No. But it's nice, though, and if you were to take it away
it's definitely good that they've done that, yeah.
Yeah, but it's just nice, because, like I said, it's just the setting in the emulation, but yeah, so far, everyone seems to be quite happy with it, so that's what, so I played a few games like Mario Kart and Xenoblade, and I can confirm it works pretty good.
Brilliant.
Yep.
Times.
What other news we got?
Yeah, so I'm just going to go through the news that I picked up. I've just seen the one on top of, because basically what I do is throughout the week, when I see something, I copy and paste it into my notes. And I've literally just seen this, and I think I must have seen it on Monday and completely forgot about it because it just made me chuckle again. Basically, a man was arrested for his gamer tag. So let me just go. Well, they tried to arrest him for his gamer tag. So let me go for the story. So basically, the UK police arrived at a man's house to arrest him for his Xbox gamer tag for apparently being racist against Asians. His username is Ching Chong Chinaman. But police turned up at his door and then realised that he himself is actually Chinese. So obviously they didn't arrest him.
Oh my god.
So I was just.
I wonder if his name was actually Ching Chong.
Yeah, because the thing was like Ching Chong Chinaman. Yeah, I've seen it on there. So, but what I wanted to say was, isn't it a sad state of affairs that the UK's at a point where people are getting arrested for their gamer tags? Like, whatever happened to a bit of common sense? You know what I mean?
That's gone,
Well,
mate.
common sense went out the window years ago.
It's just really, really strange, isn't it? You know?
I mean, wouldn't it be better if they just went after the actual criminals and people breaking the law than someone, even posting mean words on the internet, It's like, if I was in charge of the police and someone rang me up, I found this offensive word, or someone's had a go at me on Facebook, I'd say, did you turn it off? Done. I've solved your problem, mate. Oh. All I keep thinking is that Ching Chong Chinaman song we used to sing when we were little now. I'm not singing that.
God. Yeah, it's just crazy. So, yeah, I wanted to mention it. So if you've got a racist gamer tag, people listening, probably change it before the police come knocking at your door. Cool. What was next on the list? What was this one? Oh, yeah. So a game came out last week, and we did briefly mention it, called Ex Voto. 1348 Ex Voto.
1348 or something, yeah.
That completely flopped. I did talk about it last week. It launched and it peaked at 427 players. It's currently, as we are recording, got 26 players. Amazing. But apparently, like, there's been a lot of these flop games coming out, and I think, like, it's a bit of could be a little bit of a money laundering thing going on, because the funding for this game, a lot of the funding came from I just want to get this right. It came from...
It's usually a government.
Yeah, the Italian government. Yes, 745,000 US dollars, 650,000 euros from the Italian government to help fund this flop of a game, which I think is scandalous, to be honest. Government shouldn't be funding video games full stop, in my opinion. It's complete entertainment, and that's what it should be. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. And I did look at some videos of this game, and it looks like turd. Wow. So, yeah, not good at all. What was my next bit? Oh, yes, we're going to get into this now. It's on my list. NVIDIA showcased DLSS 5. And Digital Foundry did a video on this showing how the AI upscaled a load of games. And I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't like it, the look of it. So one of the examples was Resident Evil Requiem. Ashley, is it Ashley, the girl? Is it Ashley? Grace. She looks like a different person. Like, it doesn't make the graphics look better. Like, her lips are different, her nose is different, her eyes are different. You know, it looks like she's like one of those. It looks like one of those Instagram filters that the girls use, and gives them like the puffy fish lips and all that. You know, I don't understand. Like, and I do like a little bit of DLSS for the up-resing of games, but changing what the kind of the art style of the game on the characters, I think, is going a bit too far, to be honest. So
it's all right to mod games on PC to give the women's massive tits, though.
Yeah, but that's a choice, isn't it? The modding and that. DLSS was always about improving performance in PC games.
When I need to impress someone with a gift, I go straight to 1-800-Flowers. There's a reason they've spent 50 years as the floral authority. Every stem is hand-selected by a vetted florist, and with same-day delivery nationwide, 100% satisfaction guaranteed. That's why millions go to 1-800-Flowers to celebrate life's most important moments. Order now for up to 40% off. Don't miss out on this limited-time offer. Act now and save up to 40% at 1-800-Flowers.com/podcast. That's 1-800-Flowers.com/podcast.
And obviously that's kind of come to consoles now with the PS5 Pro, but changing the complete look of characters, I think, is a bit meh. I mean, some stuff looked alright. Like
what is it for, though?
It's just to improve the graphics by the looks of it.
Yeah, but what to improve? I don't know what that means. It just looks like it's changed it to something different. I don't know. I'm not sure what it's supposed to do. Can the developers use this, or is it just NVIDIA and they don't have anything to do with it?
It's just the AI just does its thing, mate. I don't really understand it, to be honest.
I can't see how the games companies would want that, because you're changing their artistic art design, their style. They're changing what people look like. They're changing that. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know why we need it.
Weird as AI is going a bit mad, isn't it? But a lot of people weren't happy online about this. So, yeah, just wanted to mention that. Next bit of news, which I thought was quite interesting, is that the PlayStation 3 had an update this past week. It's 20 years old, and it had an update. One of
I've been having regular updates, mate, because I've still got mine hooked up. I still have quite a few. Yeah,
so basically one of the part of this update was you needed to update it to carry on watching Blu-ray discs, because it needed a new encryption key for the Blu-ray drive, which is a bit strange.
Dodgy.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm just amazed.
That was one of the easiest things, because obviously I streamed a lot of PS3, and they had in PS4 and 5, like if you want to stream or something, you turn off, I think it's like H something CCP or something, I can't remember the word, what it is, but PlayStation 3 didn't have that, so you couldn't put so you couldn't put a Blu-ray disc in the PS3 and plug the HDMI into a capture card and then just copy and basically rip the Blu-ray, like Blu-ray quality, onto like a file and share it, which is how a lot of people still do it. But you could do that if you just plugged a HDMI splitter for like £3 and just did that. So that's how we could do it. But we could do that. That's so I could play stream games. It would stop you streaming. Right. So I did that to stream. I wasn't going to do that. So I think even to this day, it's one of the most known ways, if you've got a Blu-ray disc, of pirating the disc version. Like one of the easiest. So they still keep up there. But obviously what people do is they get a PS3 and they just don't update the firmware.
Yeah.
So I think they're still combating that to this day. and things like that. But obviously, I would never condone watching pirated movies from the internet.
Not a good idea. We completely condemn
cinema.
piracy on this podcast.
Go to the cinema and remortgage your house to buy the popcorn and the drinks.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Interesting bit of news that just came to my mind about this, and I didn't write it down, but I've just found a news article about it. Have you seen, just talking about piracy, you've seen that the Xbox One has finally been hacked? Which is quite interesting. And Microsoft said it was the most secure console ever made. And it's now been...
13 years, not bad.
Yeah, it's called the Bliss hack. And... yeah. So people are now hacking the Xbox One and doing all the dodgy stuff that you do with hacking consoles, I guess. But
it took them nearly 20 years to hack the Sega Saturn, so...
yeah, man. Crazy. So it'll be interesting.
I think it's because nobody wanted to hack it, though. I don't think it was difficult. People just didn't care.
Yeah. Well, on Saturn had some good games, man. But yeah.
Oh, in Japan, it was like almost as popular as the PS1.
Mm. Yeah, well, that's just because Japanese people are weird.
That's because they had loads of Japanese type games on it and the 2D ones that people liked, and they just didn't release them or anything like that over here for us.
Mm.
You know, and then Sega of America and Japan just argued with each other until they almost went bankrupt.
Indeed.
Which is...
history, man. History. Yeah. Next bit of news.
Sega special Patreon episodes coming soon.
Yeah, man. I'm always up for that. Sad news. More layoffs in the gaming industry, this time at Ubisoft, at Red Storm Entertainment. If you know who Red Storm are, they used to make all the Tom Clancy games, Rainbow Six, etc. They did some good games there, man. I think they did Ghost Recon as well. Sad times looking at where Ubisoft is going, man. Laying off more people.
It's all of them, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's all the companies. I just think when they went mental trying to spend extra money to make extra money and spend Call of Duty money on every game and hire all these extra people, and that experiment has proven, wrong, and they've pretty much failed. So I think now they're going back to, smaller, more focused teams, like let's say Claire Obscure.
Yeah.
Mm.
So it's what it is. Unfortunately, you don't like people lower down to be getting laid off, because obviously the execs aren't getting laid off and still taking their bonuses, aren't they?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, not very good.
No. So, yeah, sad news. I think this is the downfall of Ubisoft happening in real time at the moment. Sad times. And my last bit of news I have on my notes, quite interesting, actually. I can't remember if I mentioned this last week or not. Firstly, about PlayStation are rumoured to be pulling back from releasing their single-player games onto PC. Well, this bit of news, because we discussed that obviously with the Steam Deck, the Steam machine coming to sit under your telly, and the new Xbox being able to run PC games from all the other launchers. Obviously, that would make the next Xbox and Steam machine pretty much a PlayStation, because you'd be able to play PlayStation games on them. Well, it looks like they might be circumventing this with this bit of news by releasing their own PC app separate to Steam and all that, which obviously they won't allow on specific systems. So the rumor is they're going to have a store called PlayStation PC, and that's going to be the only place that you can buy your PlayStation games on PC, and you're going to need a PlayStation Network account as well. And the other rumor about that is that it will release with Wolverine onto PC. So quite interesting,
that
really.
Makes sense.
Yeah,
because Xbox has still got their app, haven't they?
Yes.
So all their games that they've released on PC you could only get them on the Xbox app. You couldn't get them on. So like the Forza game, you had to get on that. Yeah.
No. So Xbox are weird. So they release all of their games also on Steam.
Oh.
If you look on Steam now, you'll find Forza on there. You'll find Flight Sim on there. You'll find everything on there. They're a bit strange as Xbox, but they do obviously have their own app as well.
Mm.
But yeah, this is quite interesting from PlayStation because obviously PC is a large market, but I think they're trying to circumvent those under the TV devices, and doing this app is the perfect way for them to get around it, I think.
It doesn't make sense though if they're talking about like not putting their single player games on PC, but then doing this. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I know. So one of the rumours is false and one of them is true, or they could do a bit of both and only put some games on there, multiplayer games. I don't know, man. I don't know. It's just weird.
I think they're going to cut out Steam as the middleman and just put games on there £70 full price, and I think they're just going to take the whole lot of the money. So
yeah, because obviously Steam take a 30% cut of every sale, don't they? So that's obviously eating into the profit margins of PlayStation anyway, right? So yeah,
I thought thought they were up to something. So they tested the waters by releasing a few on Steam. And they will come back in a year's time, all the PlayStation games that people have bought on Steam, and they'll say, righto, you lost the license to that because you never owned it, and they'll put it on the PlayStation one.
Yeah, no, Steam doesn't work like that. So Steam are very good. So, because there's been a lot of examples where games have left the Steam store because Epic, a lot of games went to the Epic store, like as an example, Rocket League and Fall Guys. However, once a game has been sold on Steam, you can always re-download it, and they still get patched as well. They get all the same patches, so I can still play Fall Guys and Rocket League on Steam because I own them on there. But someone else like you, Nick, if you don't own it, you can't buy it on there. But because I've already got it on there, I can still use it for eternity, pretty much.
I'm not saying they should do. I'm just saying if they thought they could get away with it, they probably would.
Yeah, but they won't be able to. So
they'll probably say, well, we're removing it, but we'll email you a code to download it on PlayStation PC app. I bet that'd go down well with people on Steam.
Oh, yeah. Can you imagine? Could you imagine?
It's like, it reminded me, because like I said, some more news, like when they did the Shenmue 3 Kickstarter and they told everyone they were going to get a Steam key, and when it finally came out, it was, we changed our mind, you can have an Epic CD key. And we were like, we don't want it.
Yeah, and now it's out, and it came out on Steam a year later anyway.
Yeah.
So, you know, I own all three on Steam. Great times. Other news, Nick, we haven't mentioned is there's a new version of Shenmue 3 coming.
Well, I've told you like 2 times, but it's, they've finally announced the pre-orders.
What's it called? Shenmue 3 Super Duper? What's it called?
Enhanced Edition.
Enhanced.
Yeah, they've released some pre-orders, which I don't know how bad. You can buy the standard game for £35 on whatever console you want, like PS5, Xbox, or Switch, which is, I don't know if the Switch version, but the big super duper set for £180, I'm like, I don't know if I can justify that, because, I mean, I like my Shenmue, and I've already got this version, but I've already got, like, a Shenmue statue, which I bought a couple of years ago. It's not that statue, but plus a lot of the other stuff it comes with, it kind of looks a bit tatty. There's an art book. And you see, the Blu-ray, Webby, with the documentary, that's the one which they kick-started from like 2014, 2015, right before they announced Shenmue 3.
Oh, right.
That took about 7 or 8 years to come out, because obviously the whole point of this documentary was, look how good these games are, will we ever get a Shenmue 3? And after they'd filmed 90% of it, they announced Shenmue 3. Well, that's answered the documentary in it. The documentary's out of date. Yeah. So they sort of changed it, added some more bits, filmed a load of new stuff, and then COVID happened, which sort of screwed them over a bit. Yeah. And then eventually we got, like I say, I've still got the Blu-ray now, so even so you've got like £35 normal edition, £55 with an art book and this a small version of the Blu-ray, and then the one for £180. So I'll probably get the middle version. But it's that one again. It says Q4 2026. So, I mean, like, if it's just a remaster of a 7-year-old game, which is basically a HD upres from 1080p to 4K. I mean, they are saying there's a few enhancements because there's a few bits in the game. Can you remember when you played this, though, Webby?
Oh, Jesus, what, 3?
Yeah. I mean, it was
been
7 years
now.
ago.
It's been a while, yeah.
Well, remember they had your health bar in the corner throughout the whole game, and as you were walking around, it would deplete, and you'd have to eat food to keep your health up.
Yeah.
So I think they're getting rid of some of those things and just improving stuff like that. Because obviously, if you played the game and forgot to eat food, and then you got into a fight, you didn't have any health for the fight. But you're like, how was I supposed to know I was supposed to get into a fight at that point? And because I don't have enough money to buy food, like, I'm not going to eat the food just in case, you know, because I can't afford to buy more food. So you wouldn't just waste it willy-nilly and stuff like that. So then there was, like, loads of exploits online, like how to get unlimited money in Shenmue 3 and cheat at the gambling and save scum. So I think they're just doing quality life improvements and, like, better graphics and stuff like that. So
what I want to know is, if I already own a copy of Shenmue 3 on Steam, do I automatically get the enhanced edition?
No.
Well, fuck them then.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's weird because, you know, PlayStation have done this several times, haven't they? You know, you've had The Last of Us on PS3, The Last of Us on PS4, and The Last of Us on PS5, and they've sold you the same game 3 times, whereas sometimes with Xbox, and like I say, on Steam, they just give you an update. I mean, even in, what was it, last year or the year before, you got a free 4K update for Half-Life 2 for nothing. So it's... But if they are, depending on how much they do, you know, I think it's slightly more than just a HD upres. That's what they're saying. So, you know, and it's only £35, so it's not like they're charging £70 again like PS5 games do. So, you know, maybe
I still think it's a bit naughty, though, to be honest.
Well, it depends how much they're doing, though, Webby. Do you know what I mean?
No, it's just annoying.
Like I said, it would be nice. Like, you know, you said, what was that game, the Toxic Commando, where they said if you had Space Marine in your library, you got a discount. Possibly they'd do that. But it's just, I mean, I'll probably buy it because I'm an idiot and I bought it on so many different platforms. I haven't got Shenmue 3 on Xbox, so I'll probably get it on that. And, yeah, and we can still keep hoping for a Shenmue 4 and 5, but they've got new... Because they've got... the people who published the last game, they sold the rights to another publisher. So it's this publisher that are publishing it again, if you see what I mean. Right. So I don't even know if... Because it's different publishers, I don't know if they could upgrade it, if you know what I mean. So, you know...
Because usually Steam is very good at that, of... get the next edition.
Yeah, but maybe they'll say, if you want to buy the latest version, you'll get a discount on it. But
yeah,
it looks good. Thing is, I'm expecting me to buy the game because I think the pre-orders go live up until the middle of May, I think, and then we'll see what happens. You know, I'm probably definitely going to get it on Xbox because Xbox don't seem to be releasing physical copy games in the UK at the moment on many things. Like, a lot of games aren't coming out.
Yeah.
So, we'll see. I'm expecting that to get delayed until next year anyway. Do you always get that when it says Q4? You're like...
That'll be Christmas then, won't it?
Well,
probably
when it just says Q4,
it'll be delayed.
It'll probably get delayed
till next year.
Everything gets delayed.
Grand Theft Auto will come out, if it comes out at the end of the year, and everything else will give it a wide berth.
Yeah. Well, I don't think this is going to be affected by it. I mean, this is just, let's make a bit more money and maybe we can get hype and then they'll get interested in Shenmue 4, but... I mean, we got excited for that fake trailer last year, didn't we?
I fell for that big time, mate. I really did. Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't think it was a real. I thought it was one of those trailers that, they show off to people that they want to publish the games.
Yeah.
I thought it was one of those, or something that they would put, that's what I'm hoping for. I think most people are. At the end of this game, you play Shenmue 3 and you complete the game, and it ends on a bit of a damp squid. Maybe they'll add more to it, who knows? And maybe at the end they'll be like, and they'll announce Shenmue 4 on it, which would be nice, but I can't see it.
There we go. And I think on that happy note, we'll end it here, mate. 2 hours, 20 minutes.
I've got one more bit of news.
One more bit of news? All right.
Just one more bit of news.
Go for it, mate.
It's quite important. So, it's from the EU. They've passed a new law this year on electronics that basically anything with a battery has to be replaceable.
Oh, that's going to fuck up mobile phones then.
Well, yeah, because some of them saw it coming, but they're also the EU are also like the same people who did this forced everyone to go USB as like universal, so everything had to have USB. And some companies have already got ahead, like Apple have now brought out a new MacBook, the Neo, the cheap ones, Webby. Yeah. Have you seen them advertised? Well, they've now got, when they take them apart, they're basically, so it doesn't mean it has to have AA batteries, but it has to have a somewhat, it's a weird wording, but a fairly simple battery that either you can remove yourself with screws if you're, clever enough to take the back of the laptop off or something like that, or at least a company could do it, so you couldn't have to only take it to Apple or send it to the manufacturers. But they were saying that Nintendo are screwed because the Switch 2, you can't replace the battery. I think you'd near enough break the screen if you tried to replace the battery, and also the Joy-Cons as well. So I think they say, look, with Apple, this latest one, guess what the battery looks like when you take it apart, Webby?
A load of shit.
No, it just looks like a square battery in a tin, in a metal container. Whereas 2 years ago, the batteries in MacBooks, you'd have 70 screws, you'd have to take loads of glue and stuff off. Whereas this one, it's just 4 screws and just one cable for the battery. So they're saying that the Switch 2, when this comes in at whatever point, may have to do another redesign so the batteries can be replaced. So, yeah, well, they're going to have to. If not, they're not allowed to sell the Switch 2 in the UK. Because I think I did say last year, though, Webby, it already leaked that PlayStation done a patent on the new version 3 dual sensors what you have rechargeable AA batteries with.
Oh, right, okay.
So that's why that leaked, that they've patented that. That's so they're going to release either worldwide or in the EU PS5 controllers that you could put AA batteries in.
Okay.
Because obviously that's easier for them, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just thought that was kind of interesting to see what Nintendo are going to do, and it's always good because why are they let's say you went straight to mobile phones. When we needed a new battery in a mobile phone, we'd go into a shop and buy a new battery and just put it in ourselves, wouldn't we?
I remember the good old days, mate. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're deliberately soldering them in so you can't replace them yourself. And even if you sort of can, you have to take it to a specialist, and it'll probably cost you more to put a new battery in it is to buy a new phone half of the time. So it's good that, for how so many companies try to screw people over, there are still some out there that are trying to be more consumer friendly when it comes to stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I just thought that was interesting.
Cool. Good times. Right, on that note then, guys, I think we end it here.
Ooh.
Been a long one. That's what she said. Woo-hey. Thank you very much for coming on, guys. Sorry, Nick, we bored you with Crimson Desert for over an hour, but I just had to talk about it. Darren had to talk about it. Great game. Probably do the same next week. So
I'm not on next week then.
So from all of us here, it's been awesome. Don't forget to visit the Discord for all your friendly video game chat. There is a lot of channels in there. I know it can be hard to navigate sometimes, but there's stuff in there. Skinny Malinky's talking about Battlefield. There's a Battlefield room in there. Let's get gaming, people. It's all good. The shooter one is the one I discussed, Toxic Commando. There's loads of rooms. Just talk. Just join and talk to us. Anyway, so from all of us here, it's been awesome. And we hope to see you again next week. So from all of us now, have a great week of gaming. We will see you next Sunday. Goodbye.